Welcome to Around the Rinks, your go-to hockey podcast.
We're back for another episode of Around the Rinks, back from a week off, spring break or reading break. I'm Noah, joined by Brendan, Kylee, and Reece. Kylee, you're going to start us off with the big newsbreaker.
Yes, I am.
Or topic.
I got 2 words. Matt Rempe. Buddy is a beast. 6'7", 240 pounds, 21 years old. He was born in Calgary, and he played for the Spruce Grove Saints and is a Seattle Thunderbirds legend. He's only played 5 games. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I'm right or not, but I think he plays tonight.
Yep, he does.
So he's only played 5 games so far. He's had 3 fights. Got names here. We got Matt Martin, Nick Delorier, Matthew Oliver. He crushed Nick Bastian. Crushed him. His nose is done.
I'm surprised the league didn't look at that hit.
No, but
again, he's also 6'8".
Yeah, like I have the note here. He's huge. It's a high hit, but he's huge. So like, what can you do, right? Is he supposed to crouch?
Yeah. Slide on his knees.
But yeah, this might be the Matt Rempe podcast here. Everybody's talking about him. Probably one of the most interesting weeks of an NHL career we've seen.
Yeah.
Kind of out of nowhere player too, and fighting every game.
32 penalty minutes
I know,
in 5 games.
In 5 games.
15 minutes time on ice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's also got 1 goal and 1 assist already.
So he popped the point, Jerry.
Game-winning goal too.
Also,
and
first person ever in the NHL to have their first game and debut at an outdoor game.
That's what I was going to say. In MetLife, in front of 80,000 people, no problem.
The rookie lap. That's a special moment right there.
Yeah, but he's got a set of balls.
Then fights Matt Martin.
What a storybook way to start a career, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely taking a beating. Like, you look at those pictures he's had the last couple of days. He looks like a monster.
He's just got a shiner now.
But
pictures of him today, black eye and bruises all over his face.
Swollen shut. Yeah. Surprised the guy can see.
I'm sure that a guy that used to play on the Spruce Grove Saints will probably do anything to play in the NHL. So,
do you see his intermission interview where maybe it was post game? I couldn't even really tell you, but he was sitting on the bench and guy's just taking it all in, just loves it, eating it up. Like, I get to play in the National League. Like, I'll fight 3 times in tonight's game. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
He's in that interview. He's like, yeah, me and him, we were just chucking bombs. So funny. He definitely seems like a super down to earth dude.
And to do it
locker room guy.
To do it in New York too.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, that team's kind of scary now. They're tough.
Yeah, you got your second Trouba now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see some guy put a parlay together and kind of getting away from hockey, but he had Lamar Jackson as the MVP, Christian McCaffrey as the Offensive Player of the Year, and then the Rangers to make the playoffs, which seems like a lock for the last 10 years, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah. That's crazy.
He put $100 down and going to pay out $30-some grand.
No way.
Yeah, that's a happy little payday, eh?
Seriously.
I wish. Wow.
And just to have all it's riding on it now is just New York to make the playoffs.
And they're first in the Metro, no?
Yeah. They're definitely making playoffs.
That's a lock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. A lot of people are talking about him and his career not lasting long because of all the beatings he's taking. I think he's so smart. He is making a huge name for himself. That's all anybody is talking about right now.
I do think it's a good move by him, but if you're fighting every other night, your career is not going to last long. And I wouldn't be surprised if Laviolette is going to have a little chit-chat with him. Is I love the fighting, but you don't need to do it against Columbus.
Against every heavyweight in the league.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, my question is anybody in the Oilers going to take a stand against him? Or I feel like the Oilers are kind of a classy team. I don't know if they are going to.
Classy team.
Well,
we like to mix it up.
There's not a lot of class in Oilers.
How about let's not? But who knows?
Which is a good thing.
If we think a player is going to take a step towards him at the Oilers game, who do we think it's going to be?
Probably Nurse.
It would have to be Nurse, I think.
I was going to say Kane.
Kane's also.
Yeah, but that's a 6-inch gap.
Yeah. No, I like Nurse based off the size.
Yeah. Even Darnay, maybe.
That's true.
Yeah, true. They kind of Vinny and him like have like a bit. I mean, Vinny was older coming in the NHL, but like kind of similar in the fact like probably never thought they would be in the NHL, and now they are and like actually like productive. Maybe not as productive, but like impactful and like playing meaningful minutes and stuff. Like,
well, one of Vinny's first things too is like sipping wine on the plane, the chartered plane. He's like, this is the national. Same idea, right? Like, just happier than anything to be in the league. Like, I don't care if I play 5 minutes a night and I get my face knocked in every game.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be here with the fellas in Madison Square Garden. Come on.
Yeah, you're getting paid too. Like, it's a good gig.
Yeah, it's happy to see such a young guy like enjoy being there.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's so happy getting his face pounded in every night.
It's not he's not winning the fights. Like, he's fighting guys who have 15 years on him, who've been fighting their whole lives, and grizzled guys you're not going to knock out.
Well, there was one guy that kind of looked worse than him. I don't know who it was.
I think that was the mark.
His forehead was messed up.
I think Deloria won that fight, but his face was a mess. He had this big thing on his forehead.
Yeah, his latest fight, he completely lost that one. He was just getting haymakers to the face.
And he's got a rematch tonight against Columbus, so maybe they'll fight. I hope not, because Rempe's face is already not looking too well.
No.
But, and then on Saturday, Rangers are in on Toronto, and Ryan Reeves is gonna be out there.
Oof.
So
that'll be fun. Someone's getting a shin pad whack.
One of my favorite things is that they show the footage in the warm-ups, and you can see like Delorier coming up at the red line and having a little chit chat with him, knowing it's gonna happen. I wouldn't be surprised if you see a little conversation with Reeves on Saturday.
Yeah, when I first saw that Delorier's clip with them too, like on the opposing red lines and stuff, I was like, oh geez, like this is kind of brutal, like being a young guy like that. Nick Delorier's coming in your ear, like just saying a bunch of shit. But I bet all it was him just literally being like, hey, do you want it tonight? Like, are we gonna go? Like, when I first saw it, I thought it was brutal, but thinking about it, it's like that was probably actually a really nice thing of Delorier's to do, just like come in there and be
instead
like,
of like jumping him or something.
Exactly,
right?
like
a lot of people are like talking about how they think that's like instigating.
Nah.
But I don't think it is.
It's anything but that, actually, right?
The instigating rules are so stupid.
It's such a... I don't get it at all. Like, oh, you throw your gloves off first, you're getting an extra 2 minutes.
Yeah, like, God forbid.
Well, and it's a flip the coin, it feels like, too. It's almost like goalie interference in the sense where, like, I'm not really sure what that rule even means.
100%, yeah.
Like, it's just, sometimes they choose to, sometimes they don't. It's maybe, if you actually looked at the rule book, there would be an outline for it, but...
Yeah, probably.
But hard to follow, at least.
I hope so. I'd hope so. But, yeah, just what a week for him. I hope he keeps going. I hope he keeps fighting. Do we have any last things to say about Rempe before we move on?
I'm excited to see him play the Oilers.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when that game is, but...
Cup final.
Yeah. That'd be crazy.
7 straight.
That'd be nice.
Well, let's move on. We missed a week, so there's a crap ton of news to talk about. One thing I want to get into, Sean Couturier getting named 20th captain in Flyers history.
Yeah, good for him. It's
deserving.
long overdue.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. After Giroux got traded, I think he was just next in line right there.
Yeah, battled injuries for a while.
Yeah, he was
right?
going through injuries. Back this year, he has 35 points this year, and he's just one of the best two-way players in the league.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in Selke votes every year still for the rest of his career, and he has been already. He's also a leadership guy, too. He's going to vet guy. He's going to lead this young core in Philly.
Yeah, it's a young Philly team, and I mean, even... It's crazy to think that those guys that came out of, like, the 2011 draft now are, like, veterans.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's, like, all those guys, having somebody like Couturier who's been around, literally, like, fought through injuries, like, been through some of those, like, Pittsburgh Flyers playoff series they used to go on, like, those were some of the best hockey I've ever watched in my life. So, like, having somebody that's in there, captain, and has, like, that kind of experience, I think is big for, like, Drysdale and Forrester and all those young guys on that team that can really use that leadership. And then you got Torts, too.
Also, Drysdale out week to week. That's tough.
That was a solid hit.
Right in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to see for a young guy. Extremely Drysdale, he's battled for injury after year now. He can't get lucky.
Yeah, hasn't had much luck.
Well, let's move. We got a couple jersey retirements that happened last couple weeks. A couple big ones. We'll start with Jaromir Jagr.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, with Pittsburgh Penguins. How can you not love Jagr? Second all-time NHL points. Won his 2 cups with Pittsburgh. I think he was 11 years with the Pittsburgh Penguins too, which is crazy. And
His
then probably
speech
played
was
another.
So funny. Oh my god.
Also, yeah, he's a hilarious guy. He's still playing pro hockey, like somehow.
It's ridiculous.
Slovakia or whatever it is.
The guy's literally cashing in the seniors card at Denny's, but
Yeah.
he's still playing
Right.
pro hockey. Like, come on.
Yeah.
He took it. Even played in the practice with him, right?
Yeah.
Went out and practiced NHL
How
practice
cool is
again.
that for any of the guys on the Pens? Like,
Yeah, I know,
you
right?
know,
Even
like,
young guys there
Sid,
too,
you know,
right?
and
Sid,
all the way
Sedum,
to the rookies, right? Is to have a legend of the game.
I think I
out there.
saw Brennan Rust saying how like just special that moment is, just being on the ice with Jaromir Jagr. That is like crazy. Also took the warm-ups with him before the ceremony. Like
What a crazy like
Rock star.
event that they put on. Like, and even like in that, I think the morning skate or whatever, like that was when like Jagr was on the ice for that too. And then there was a clip of Letang coming up to him, and he was basically like, "You are the reason that I played hockey." Like blah blah. Like it's so cool. Like these guys are 30-some years old, but they're still like
kids.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like you're my hero. Like blah blah. It's like. It's cool to see like what the sport actually like brings out in people.
Mm-hmm. Well, like the guys that we would get starstruck over, getting starstruck over this guy, right?
Yeah, literally.
I think I'd be starstruck with Jagr.
Well, 100%, right? But like, tell me you didn't run into Crystal Tang and
I'd be
you're
like
fanboying, right?
Yeah.
You think this guy is top dog, and now he's us in the situation, right? Like, just a kid that loves hockey players. Like,
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love Jagr anyways, right? Like, I think that, like, everyone loves him. He's one of those players that's just like, and he's played on every team, so
Yeah.
all those fan bases love him too. So
Yeah, well, and honestly, like long overdue, right? Like I think for a long time he thought that the fans in Pittsburgh didn't like him, so like he didn't have any interest in doing this, blah blah. And then finally he was like, "Yeah, screw it, let's do it."
Yeah,
and like the reception he got was unreal. I think, especially like from the players too. Like that's so sick.
Yeah, and like I thought they were gonna wait until he retired, but he might not retire.
Yeah.
He might be out there in Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic playing pro hockey still,
Forever.
like until his 70s. Like who knows?
Well, and that quote that he had in his speech where he was like, yeah, and to my girlfriend who was too young to see me play on the Penguins, I've told her lots of stories, blah, blah. Like, how rock star is that? Like,
Yeah.
he had that thing
him.
come out a couple of years ago where, like, that chick was trying to blackmail him after, like, they had woke up in bed together, and, like, she took this selfie with him, and she was basically trying to, like, blackmail him, saying, like, oh, I'll release this if you don't, like, give me this, blah, blah.
All-time
And he was like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah,
post
do it.
Do it.
Like, I don't have a problem. People know, and I'm still like hanging out with 21-year-olds. Blah blah. Like,
Absolute
he's a
rock
beauty.
star. Then also we got Chris Chelios getting his jersey retired in
That's
Chicago as well.
Talk about rock stars.
Rock
Pulling
star.
up in a caddy.
Coming out with a
Come
caddy
on.
with his mom in it as well. That is insane. Right on the ice. That Chris Chelios has really made a name for himself. Like I didn't realize how many celebrities like he's friends with, and the whole barn was just packed full of everyone from Wayne Gretzky to Sidney Crawford and like the whole 9 yards. Right.
Michael Jordan even made like a video.
Yeah,
for
Michael
him and
Jordan made a
everything.
video for him. Right.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
And how like sick of a dude is Chelios for like basically setting up a standing ovation for Kane during his jersey
Yeah.
retirement. Like that's unreal. Having like the ability to realize like, oh, this is Kane's first game back in Chicago
it's
too.
the moment's
like,
maybe bigger than yourself. Right?
seriously, like
And yeah, he brought out all of his like former teammates as well, and he's like, "These guys is what made me my career and whatever."
And
It's just like, what a guy.
I could be wrong here, but is he not the one that made the sauna little bike ride a thing?
yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
he would go to the sauna.
Pump it, and then just
He
blast
was,
on the bike.
yeah, he would like.
You psychopath.
He was like a workout alcoholic as well. Like, he would go to the bars after he would do a full workout, right? And then I think he had a bar in Chicago. I want to say he did. And it got closed after he got traded to Detroit. I'm really twisting my memory here.
I'll just
say when he got traded, I think his bar closed down. But it's something like that. Then we'll go to Patrick Kane, which was the same night.
Yeah.
A standing ovation for him.
Storybook ending there.
Seriously.
NHL scripted.
Yeah.
These guys are cooking this year with the script.
Yeah,
like
the script is insane.
But I watched that probably 10 times where his OT winner in Chicago, standing in the Detroit Red Wings uniform.
Yeah,
Like, are you kidding me? And I mean, the guy's won cups there. He is a Chicago Blackhawk through and through, and is the least the organization could do to send him away to hopefully win something. But, like, I looked and, hey, Lauren, call my girlfriend over. Like, you got to watch this. She doesn't care at all, right? She doesn't quite understand. But she entertained me and watched it. But I was just, you talk about Letang and Jagr. I was fanboying over Kaner scoring in Chicago in his return.
That was great. And him going, showtime, showtime. You can read his lips. You know what he's saying.
He's like going, Jake Wallman goes to like give him a hug or whatever.
Yeah, he's like no,
shoves him off. Like, yeah, give it to me. Let's go. Like,
he's just loving it.
How could you not love Patrick Kane? Like, for the standing ovation, he goes for a lap. Then DeBrincat's like, go for another. And he goes for like 2 more around. Like, what a rock star. Talk about rock stars. Hattie Kane. We could also go to Detroit now, and how they've really turned that franchise around now. The Yzer plan is in full effect, as right now they're in a wild card spot, the first wild card spot. They're 2 points back from Toronto. They are in a 6-game heater. But like, guy like Patrick Kane, and we'll say him again, he has 30 points in 28 games. He just, hip surgery. Nothing.
God forbid.
Yeah. Showtime, right?
Showtime.
Yeah, seriously.
And him and DeBrincat back together, looking lethal.
That goal that I think it was DeBrincat finished off, but the little tic-tac-toe.
Oh,
that was nice.
Oh, like, how can you not be romantic, right?
Yeah.
Just steal money ball.
It's actually good for, like, USA Hockey having them 3 all playing well. Like, having Larkin, DeBrincat, and Kane, like, representing.
I never even thought of that, but that's a hell of a point.
Just think how good that team is now. Like, Chicago made the playoffs with just DeBrincat and Kane. And when they faced Oilers and beat them.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. But now this team is way better than that Chicago team. Like, miles ahead better. Like, you got guys like Dylan Larkin, like that's insane. Lucas Raymond, who's at 50 points already this year. Daniel Sprong, who scored 16. Like, list goes down. David Perron's down there. Moritz Seider, we didn't even say. Like, it's a crazy team. I think all they're missing is a goaltender. I love Ville Husso, but
Lyon too.
Reimer's honestly kind of been on a redemption arc.
And Reimer too. Vet.
Yeah, I don't think they're cup contenders by any stretch, but
yeah,
I mean they could shake some stuff up in a couple rounds.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not super like the Yzer plan changes every 3 months. It seems like Detroit will do unreal for 3 months, and then all of a sudden, like, scratch the Yzer plan. It's over. We'll miss playoffs. Like, I'm not really fully bought in. Like, especially them signing Sherratt to like a long-term expensive contract.
Justin Hall.
Yeah, like some of these, it's like, are you sure this is a good idea?
Shane Gostisbehere, who's been great for them. Like, how much is he? You got 38 points already. Like, as a defenseman, that's crazy.
He's probably not making that much either.
I don't want to say he is. He's probably made pretty cheap, but
he'll be making more next year.
I like Gostisbehere. Good offensive guy. But yeah, that whole team is now starting to build up. Yeah, like Wallman.
Mm-hmm.
How can you not love that guy? Yeah. He's a defenseman scoring like over 10 goals now. Like,
and just witties everywhere.
Gritties every. Feels like it happens every month now. Like it's kind of crazy. But yeah. Also, speaking of every month, Connor Brown, big stat guy coming up.
He's got a point
in the last 3 months. He's gotten at least 1 point.
Oh,
I want him traded
Beautiful.
so bad. He needs to go down to the minors or get traded.
He had a beautiful assist to Nuge the other night.
That was a really good pass to Nuge. Yeah,
I think like you see the flashes of brilliance. Honestly, like you can see where his skill is, and he still like drives play. Like he still produces opportunities, but
he's good on the
it's
PK.
So snake bitten. I've never seen anybody have like and it's so much of it is confidence too. Like when you're a guy like him who's like been fairly consistent and like been a pretty good NHL level player.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like to go for like 50 games now probably without a goal. Like
he has a good resume. Like he played with McDavid in the minors. Like I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I really do think it's like the same situation with Soupy. It's confidence.
Yeah,
and just find the middle of the ice. Like whenever you watch, it always feels like he's on the perimeter. Like he's driving through the gates. He's finding his way to the corners. Fantastic. A little bit more physicality wouldn't hurt my feelings, but the guy doesn't get between the dots ever. And
then
that's where you score goals.
David
And then when he does get between the dots, then, like you said, he's the most snake-bit guy on the planet.
Hit the post.
and when they had,
robbed.
when they had signed him, like I was honestly like, oh, he's gonna be way better than Yamamoto. Like this is basically like Hyman 2.0.
Yeah.
And it just like has not panned out the way that anybody expected.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. I thought he was going to be the steal of free agency. Like I thought it was a steal for his contract and how he is as a player. It just hasn't worked out. It sucks to see because I do think he can.
And now
be
I
that
hear
player.
people saying they want Costin back, and I'm like, I feel like I
wish.
have faith that like he'll turn it around hopefully soon. Like maybe next year he'll have a better year if he stays till next year. I don't know what's going to happen.
$7 million next year. I guess he won't sign a $3 million ticket, but
Yeah. We're already paying him like what, 3.5, something like
next
that.
year, something like that, yeah.
I saw a pretty
Ridiculous.
crazy stat today that Jacob Markstrom has 5 assists, and that is
dang.
more than Connor Brown.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
When a goalie is outdoing you in stats, it's crazy.
5 assists must be a lot for a goalie, though.
Yeah.
Like I feel for
Like,
one season.
I think I had heard just recently that Grant Fuhr, and maybe it was an Oilers record, but I think it was a National League record, and it was 18 assists in a season.
Holy Dinah.
Yeah, but you also got to think he was playing with
I don't
the
think
Avengers.
5 assists is too much. Like I'm going to go back to Montreal because that's what I know. I know Montembeault and Primo both have like 3 assists, 2 assists, and they don't play the puck too much. Like Markstrom, like Markstrom's he will send it up all the way up the ice. Same with a guy like Shesterkin.
There it is.
A boatload of, yeah, I know. A boatload of assists.
So
But
actually, sorry.
go ahead.
I actually have the stat right here. Grant Fuhr had 14 assists in 45 games.
That's
Also another
silly.
guy
Like that's crazy, and that's 6 more than or 5 more, sorry, than the next guy, and he also played 15 more games than Fuhr.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
Well, it was also a different league back then, but
Yeah,
like,
And a lot of it has to do with luck, too, right? Like
and a guy named Wayne Gretzky. So
that one.
So
that's true.
Yeah, or
That
like
kinda
people
helps
coming
out.
out of the box and sending it up to them. Like it's all about timing and luck for sure.
And I think one of the best like playmaker goalies is Shesterkin, bringing back to Rangers, who does always like feel like gets a whole bunch of apples on the year. Speaking of apples, McDavid,
Oh,
buddy cannot pot a goal.
I want a goal so bad. Like I love his assists. I love him being a team player, but like I want a McDavid goal.
Yeah.
I miss them.
23 apples in 10 games.
That's
That's
so
insane.
ridiculous.
0 goals.
That is ridiculous.
0 goals. Oof.
Is he going to break 100?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's on pace to right now.
Yeah,
which is-
100.
Maybe it was just
Question mark?
assist. Like,
and
Yeah.
You might not
100
score again.
assists. And it hasn't happened since
Lemieux,
90s?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like
him,
91 or
I think it's
something?
Bobby Orr, Wayne Gretzky, and Mario Lemieux are the only ones that have ever had 100
so
assists in a
silly.
season.
He's
Like-
just like, actually, instead of goals, I'm gonna break the assist record.
Yeah.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
his
that
quotes
quote.
too. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of, I don't want to say a stupid question, but like it kind of was.
Well, it-
Average Oilers media question. And
It needs to be asked.
It needs to be asked. Why aren't you scoring?
Yeah.
I wanted to pass more.
Yeah, I actually decided I'm not scoring ever again.
I don't want to. And he might not score ever again. Like,
Yeah.
He doesn't need to.
And like some of these plays that he's making, like it's just so ridiculous, like how he's able to see the game and like set up these guys. Like that assist he had to Hyman the other night against LA. Like it was beautiful. Like walks the puck out, Hyman just sneaks back door, just bang, like easy peasy.
Automatic.
Like
Looks like you're playing against pylons.
Like even for
Literally.
like opportunities where he can shoot the puck, he'll find a way to find somebody wide open backdoor. So
Well,
and that's the McDavid effect too. You're gonna have 2 defenders going at you, and then somebody's wide open there.
and maybe not a lot to do with the whole goal thing, but like another one that stands out just watching the games is zone entries on power play.
Mm-hmm.
And you can watch, any team play the Oilers or teams play each other around the league, and there's power plays where they won't even break the blue line. Like, it is painful to
It
almost
is the
watch.
most frustrating thing to watch on power plays.
And then the Oilers do it 3 times, and you're ready to throw your remote through the TV.
Yeah.
But, no one else has a Connor McDavid, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
And if it's not Connor, it's Leon. And you take it for granted, and next thing you know, maybe he's not the guy scoring, but the chances that come off those big rushes into the zone on the power play, it's something to take for granted for sure.
Seriously. And I mean, even like the emergence, honestly, these last probably 10 games of Bouchard have been like the best games I think he's played in his career. Like,
Yeah, which is so awesome, but real trouble for that contract.
yeah, oh my God, he's gonna make so much money.
Which we were saying last year too, right? Like,
Yep.
it's same thing, same story again. It's gonna be hard to pay him up. And
Yeah, you're gonna.
how he's playing, and like and all the guys are praising him too. Like Ekholm says, is just how good of a player he is all the time, right?
I wish we
So-
could take a chunk of Brown's salary and give it to Bouchard.
Wouldn't even be enough.
No.
Wouldn't be close. Yeah, he's gonna be making a lot of money, and I don't know how they're gonna make that room. Figure it out in the off season.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
Something to worry
problem.
about after they do their Stanley
the
Cup
parade.
parade and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, after their first round exit or something like that.
Speaking of money, Gary Bettman, Winnipeg, they're worried right now. They have low ticket sales.
And they're winning. Like they're
Yeah,
They're
like,
top
that's
of
the
their
biggest
division.
concern in my opinion is like you have a good team and you have 13,000 people coming.
Yeah.
Like that seems pretty bananas to
It's
me.
not good.
Like me and Reece were talking this at the bar the other day, or yesterday, and I
Humble brag.
I don't think it's a big deal. I trust Winnipeg. I do think they're okay, and Bettman was saying this as well, and for the first time ever, I completely agree with Bettman.
Oh goodness.
But I think there's nothing to worry about. I do think Winnipeg stays there. I do love their franchise, and I think the only way they get relocated if they as a team like start going downhill, which they're clearly not.
I think when playoffs roll around, it will get better. But like the fact that it's not even like they have like low ticket sales right now, that blows my mind. Like why?
Yeah,
like
like
a 15,000 seat arena, and you can't
Like-
sell it out.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
a roast to their
That's all
fan
I do.
base.
Well, and I mean, like, I'm sure that it is a bigger deal to the NHL than Gary Bettman is making it out to
Yeah,
seem. Because,
probably.
like, imagine if imagine if you had this good of a team in Ottawa. Or, I mean, I guess Ottawa's a bad example. but,
Ottawa
like,
does not sell.
Like, some of these fan bases that are actually passionate and, like, are willing to, like, go out and do it all. Like, Winnipeg are they first in their division still?
Yeah, I just checked.
Gotta be, yeah.
Like, you've got a wagon like that and you still can't get the support like from the hometown and everything. Like, I do really think that that's like the NHL is losing a lot of money because this team is so good and they aren't generating anything
Yeah.
from it.
Like from the David Sawchuk marketing perspective, this is not good at all.
Yeah.
Like imagine if the Boston Bruins weren't selling tickets.
This is
Ridiculous.
Like, yeah.
That's a good way to think about it. But they will sell out once playoffs come.
Yeah, once that whiteout happens,
Once the
who
whiteout
doesn't
comes
out,
back
yeah,
and-
pay $1 million to see that.
Yeah, right.
I'd go to Winnipeg just to be in that whiteout.
That'd be
Those,
so
those
cool.
are sick. Like,
Yeah, I'd be a Jets fan for a night for sure.
I want to say Arizona did that. Don't they do the whiteout as well?
yeah, when they went
Because
on
they
their,
went
when they went on
from-
that run.
But the Jets went to Arizona, right?
Yeah.
So that followed. And then when the Jets
Then that
came from
continued
Atlanta,
on, and it just stayed in.
and now that we got a
Arizona.
twofer. But
Yeah.
we'll never see Arizona in the playoffs ever again. Those guys can't buy it.
pretty close.
Extremely with a 13-game winless streak.
Yeah, like they were sniffing that wild card for the whole year, and then they have taken
Yeah,
a
I know. I
steep downturn.
wrote a blog on my website about how
Well, shout it out. What's the website?
NoahPomeroy.wordpress.com.
Hey.
Hopefully I said that right. But I wrote about how they, like a while back this season, how they set a NHL record by beating all the last 5 cup contenders in
Yes.
consecutive order. So I wrote about that, and I was like, who doesn't want to see playoff game in Molit Arena? Like, that'd be crazy. But it doesn't help that you lose 13 games in a row.
Yeah, they need a heater.
Which passes the Sharks in the longest winless streak, that's tough.
This season?
Yeah, this season. Yeah. And the Sharks are pretty bad.
Yeah, they could probably use a trip to like Salt Lake City or something.
Yeah, which probably. You keep seeing Ryan Smith there, Jazz owner. He wants it. He wants it bad. And I always see him on Twitter. He's like, this is the new downtown of Utah or Salt Lake City. This is what the new downtown's going to look like with the NHL team and the NBA team. And it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's an expansion coming up for that team.
I really do want to see Arizona make it. I do want to see hockey in Arizona.
I think the NHL wants Arizona to stay there too. Bettman wants them.
Well, especially the Matthews thing. If Matthews didn't come around, maybe the perspective changes a little bit. But a top end player in your league is coming from there. Exactly. It's got an impact on the kids there.
100%. Yeah, and I think but eventually at some point they have to sit there and go how long are we willing to let these professional athletes play in this college arena and lose all of this money from what we could actually be making.
Which I think they did set this is the last season where they have to make a decision, right? At the off season they have to make a decision. Are they going to stay in Arizona? Are they going to go to Phoenix, whatever, to make a new arena?
But even let's say they do stay in Arizona, it's going to be 3 years until the arena's
make
up.
Make arena,
right?
Then 100%. You're staying in, what are you going to play Mullet Arena for 3 years?
Yeah, and then even if it's not if they were to say, we're going to go to Utah, it's not they can make that transition in a summer. That's going to be a drawn out process that is going to take forever.
Utah's building's not even done. They want to make an arena, and that's going to be in the works for the next 5 years. I think they wanted it for the Olympics, I want to say.
Maybe AZ trades Keller to Edmonton for Rexall Place.
There we go. We send Rexall Place to Arizona.
And we take your best player.
We're starting to cook now.
What's the worst thing that happens?
No, I don't see anything wrong with this idea.
Yeah.
Why am I not GM of the Oilers?
You should be the owner, Arizona, right there. Buy Rexall Place. We could have 2 teams in Edmonton.
We got a big enough fan base for it.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Let's see. Also, speaking of Arizona, Austin Matthews hits 50 goals. First one to hit 50 goals this year. 54 games.
That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this guy's a freak this season.
Up to 77 points. He's going to score. He's up to projected to 70 goals.
He's going to hit it. He's going to. He's going
to. No surprise, really. Same with Kucherov.
First to 100.
First 100.
20 plus games to go for both these guys. It's insane. And I wrote down here, Kuch at 100, and it was kind of just when it happens, not if it happens for that guy. He's a phenomenal hockey player. But in 2015, do you want to know who won there at Ross with how many? No.
Jamie Benn.
Jamie Benn.
Sorry.
Jamie Benn with 87
points with Jamie Benn. I remember that.
That was the highest score.
That was the yikes. Then Kucherov won it in, I'm not even going to say a year. But,
me neither.
And he popped off that year, too.
And it's the same thing this year. He's going to score 120 points and making that Jamie Benn year look like nothing.
Kind of makes you shake your head, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't that, not even 10 years ago. And
yeah. How much
we couldn't break 90.
How much it's changed, right? Being 82 points in a year, that's a great year.
Yeah.
Now it's
we just got freaks of nature
our superstar
now.
has to break 100 to have a good year. If McDavid doesn't break 100 points, that's a bad year for him. So,
yeah, these players have just evolved, just freaks of nature now.
And it's the way the game has changed, right? It's fast and skilled now, right? Yeah. Which, a guy like Matt Rempe, to bring him all the way back from the beginning, is just his style of game is not really there anymore, right? And you have guys like Delorier fighting for a roster spot every night, and it's a tough league to be in now. You have to be fast, you have to be skillful, but you also you have to be big as well. Quentin Byfield, who's
that dude's gonna be a problem.
Maybe the only bright spot in LA right now, right?
Kempe just going down.
Kempe just got hurt.
Yeah,
that's
tough.
Scared that's long term.
Yeah, I got offered. Just to make this selfishly about myself, I got offered a trade in my fantasy league for Kempe, and I'm so stuck on if I'm gonna accept it or not. Because
who do you get in return?
The guy really needs a goalie, so it's Jake Ottinger and somebody else for Kempe and somebody else.
Yes.
but I'm nervous to get Kempe, and then all of a sudden, like, he could be done all year, right? Like, if he breaks
you're
his
trading
wrist,
away Kempe, or
I'm
trading
receiving Kempe.
Oh yeah, no.
So
no,
exactly.
No, the risk reward ain't worth that.
So yeah, like, I think the MRIs come out today or whatever, but like, if he breaks his wrist or like, he looked pretty shaken up, like immediately fell. Got
It was
off the ice.
It was like it's something like you really didn't notice during that game.
Yeah.
Like,
It was like, why is Kempe going down the tunnel?
Yeah.
And then they do a replay, and you're kind of like, what happened?
It
Right?
was just like a fall, right? Like any.
But sometimes those are the worst. Right?
Yeah, literally.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has a concussion too, from just how many times.
A concussion.
Don't say that word. That's a bad word.
That's a bad word right there.
The C word?
The C word.
Oh, you're not allowed to say the C word.
No.
No.
But if it is like a broken wrist, that's a hard injury to get through too, right? Like,
He's a puck handler. He scores goals.
You're not shooting for the rest of the summer, right? So that could be tough. But that does also clear up cap space if he does go on LTIR.
Thank goodness it's still before the March 8th deadline.
Yeah, right.
Like,
so
as far as LA's perspective goes, and
if they want to make a push, if they feel comfortable with that,
if that happened on the 9th, that stings that much more.
Yeah. So maybe like a Jake Gensel to LA now.
I would actually cry.
I think you can't pay back for the second round.
Right.
So just to go back to Matthews, like, if he hits 70, do you guys think like he wins a Hart?
That's a good question because I think Kucherov, if Tampa makes the playoffs, it's because of Kucherov. But I don't want to say Toronto makes the playoffs because Matthews scores 70 goals.
I think you got to see how the rest of the league shakes out.
I think Toronto makes the playoffs really no matter what if Matthews scores 50. But I think Kucherov is just really carrying this Tampa team right now to a playoff spot. So I think I would edge my way to Kucherov, I guess.
I think I agree, but at the same time, 70 goals is...
70 goals is...
So
it's historic, right?
Just to put it in perspective...
It's hard to say.
Like, Austin Matthews right now, he's got 52 goals, 25 assists for 77 points.
Yep.
And last year, McDavid winning the Hart, like whatever else he won, he had 6 less goals than 70, and pretty much, like, he had 89 assists. So, I mean, like...
That's a way more impressive season to me.
Yeah, like, I think it's really hard. Like, 70 goals is something that we don't even see again.
Right?
Like, it is incredible, but I mean, like, there really isn't a whole lot... Like, it's not that incredible of a stat line seeing it when he's only finishing with, like, 30-some assists, right?
Yes.
I still think it's crazy. Like,
no, definitely.
If Kucherov wasn't there and projecting, like, 120 plus points, right? It's like, I think it obviously goes to Matthews, but it's just he's doing some insane once again. So...
And it makes that Gretzky record look even crazier, too.
Yeah, right?
92 goals.
Another 20 on top of it, yeah. Like 70 were head scratching trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
That dude was on a whole nother level.
Oh, Matthews. I think he does hit 70. Like, I think it's a no-brainer he does.
No, he's shooting until he gets there.
Yeah, right?
It's like OV and his overall right now, right? Like, and it's not as easy as just going out there and saying, I'm going to score 3 tonight, but there's some nights for him it does seem
it
that
really
easy.
seems like it.
And if Matthews keeps scoring 60 goals a year, he might get up there.
Just blow past that.
Like, right? He might get to that goal record, right?
Yeah, it might
like,
be a short-lived...
Of course, that depends on just injuries or whatever it's going to happen, right? So, but, like, if he just continues, like, he's a young player, right? Like, he can do this for another 15 years.
Seriously.
Scoring 60 goals.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. And I mean, like, especially with the longevity of some of these guys, like some of these professional athletes now, like, look at Sidney Crosby or like LeBron James or any of those guys. Like, these guys are playing well into their 40s. Or maybe not, like, majority of them for sure, but...
Hockey either, right? A little bit more physical of a game. And but there's no reason you can't touch it, right?
Chris Chelios played till he was 44.
Yeah. There you go.
Even Ovi, right?
Yeah.
Like, and Jagr.
Yeah, literally, Jagr.
Like, he's still playing. He's still playing pro hockey. Kind of crazy. Any news? Anybody?
Nathan McKinnon's home point streak, I think, is something that is very incredible.
Also, another guy who could be in that MVP race.
Yeah,
right now.
definitely.
I think he's 98 points or something right now.
Yeah.
I think I was looking at. So he's next to hit 100, right? So
if he it hasn't been done since Gretzky, but he might have. If he keeps this up, he'll have a point every single home game of the season. And he's pretty much averaging 2 points at home. Yeah, and, that is ridiculous.
Give the fans what they paid for there.
Literally.
yeah.
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, if we didn't have such a bad start to the season, I'd say McDavid could have done it. But
Well,
that bad start ruined us.
That guy, he can have 7-point games overnight. And that's kind of bad wording for that. But, at any moment, that dude can pop off, and there's no reason he can't go win the Art Ross.
Yeah.
Right? He's capable of that. And you're chasing Kucherov and McKinnon, who are fantastic hockey players, and they got an edge on you, too. But at this point, I wouldn't put past anything of Connor.
Yeah, extremely. If he, I mean, the goal scoring's a little scary, but I don't know. I don't know if that hurts the MVP race. But
he could pop off in playoffs.
Yeah, right.
So he could entirely switch his game.
But
you never know with this kid.
He can just pop off, have an 8-point night, just randomly out of nowhere, and bang, he's already. That's a pretty good lead.
He's so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And I mean, for these guys on the Oilers, Draisaitl having a down year and stuff, and I'm fully fine with these guys not winning these awards for the regular season.
I think it's
the
big
one.
honestly, I think it's a good thing because now it's they don't care about it anyways, right?
They've got them all.
They got it. They've won them. They got all their individual whatever awards. They need that one thing. They need that cup. So, and that's all they really care about right now.
Mm-hmm.
I got the Senators, and I mean their story has not changed since the first game of the year, but to go not maybe all in, but go hunt Chikrin down at last year's deadline, to go get Korpisalo in the offseason, and now to be willing to trade
both of them,
anybody except for, it sounds like, their captain and Chuck, Stützle and Sanderson, right? That's so crazy to me.
It is.
And for Detroit and Ottawa have these, and Buffalo have these kind of expectations coming in the season. Maybe this is your year. Maybe this is the time that you finally take the jump. And Ottawa especially has just been such a dumpster fire. They've got Jacques Martin or whoever the hell it is behind their bench, and he looks like he's about 100 years old. I don't see this getting any better before it gets worse, for sure.
They've been building it up for the last 5-6 years, right? They haven't done anything. It's baffling.
You look at their team, and maybe their defense isn't fantastic. I'm not as high on Artemi Zub as everybody else.
Yeah,
is.
that one seems weird to me.
But I really a first line of Timmy, Stu, Kachuk, and Giroux, that should definitely do some damage.
Yeah, and then Norris, Batherson. Yeah. The list goes on and on.
Seriously.
There's talent all over that roster, but they just can't figure it out.
It's kind of like a Buffalo.
Yeah.
Right? And both of them are very young teams still, right? So they can still get it together. They 100%. Will get it together, but it's going to take some more time.
Well, we had that conversation about the Oilers in Boston and the cultures of winning. Yeah. It's just breaking those guys, the Senators or the Sabres. They haven't done anything ever.
Yeah,
that's just, you go there to lose.
I feel like the Sabres have just had a dark cloud over that whole organization for years and years. Yeah, probably since they lost in the Cup Finals to Dallas.
That's a throwback. Yeah,
that was a long time ago, but they really haven't had much success since then.
No.
Not at all.
Not even during the Thomas Vanek years.
Yeah, what? Vanek never led him to a cup?
That's crazy.
I love Vanek.
I do got a little stat on Tkachuk as we're talking about him.
Okay.
He's on pace for 73 points and 243 hits. There's only 2 other players who's done that. Ovi twice and Brendan Morrow once. So
no way.
That's
just speaking of stars.
Yeah, right. Just a pure power forward right there.
That's a name I haven't thought about in ever. He was one of my favorite players because his name was Brendan. Imagine that.
Oh, wow! Look at that. But yeah, that's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
How there's only two other players has done that, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of
maybe almost like a little bit of an ESPN stat with, hitting the certain point plateau.
What is it, like 70-plus points, 240-plus hits?
Yeah, but
it's a little...
But same way, you're producing offensively and you're mucking it up in the corners too. Like that's exactly the leader I want on my team.
But then Ottawa getting outshot 19-0.
Oh yeah,
in the third period last night,
and they were down. Like they were going in the third period down 3-1, and they didn't get one shot.
That is high danger chances were 7 rip.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even get close.
No.
Like, you might not... Maybe you missed the net, but you didn't even get to the slot one time.
Literally.
Like, that is crazy. You go a full period without a shot, and then you let in 19 shots on the other side.
Yeah.
First time in Sens history that's happened for not letting a shot happen, or not allowing, or not getting a shot in the first period, or a period, sorry.
That hurts.
But that's a tough game. If I was a Sens
20 minutes is a long time.
Sens fan watching that on the TV...
I'm not a Sens fan. I would have shut it down.
Yeah,
I would turn it off.
I didn't even. I should have looked at social media. I look at Sens Twitter a little. That would have been a little fun watch. I might go to it after this. But yeah, that's a tough game.
And we talked about Sens, Greg and the empty netter, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We haven't touched on Abby Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Another
Minnesota Gophers. That just... It's a thing. Take it over. Let's hammer pucks in the empty nets. That is so awesome.
Let's keep it going, too. I love it.
Yeah. I'm all about it. And, as soon as I saw that, it was, let's make this a trend, please. And
and I mean, I do think that, hockey is, a fairly, respectful sport. Like, a lot of guys have, a lot of admiration for each other and stuff. But, I honestly really like the whole, let me rub this in your face. Especially when it's, big games like that, like Toronto, Ottawa, Battle of Ontario, that kind of stuff. I mean, I would have been freaking so upset if Calgary did that with 7.5 minutes left when the Oilers pulled their goalie. But I do like it a lot. It's fun to watch.
Just add some fire to the teams that aren't super happy with each other. I would love to see that happen in a playoffs game this year.
Yeah,
I would love to see it.
That'd be some
spicy.
Vancouver riots all over the place.
But yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if we see more in your face type of stuff extremely coming in the playoffs now. Mm-hmm. If it's a Calgary Edmonton, that'd be crazy. I'm not saying the Flames are going to make the playoffs, which is it could happen.
Realistic.
Honestly, it actually the race in the West and the East. It's kind of crazy how all these teams are fighting for this wild card spot now, and even Detroit try to get a divisional spot. It's going to be a close race to the end. It's kind of exciting. It's it doesn't get really this close during the seasons. Usually you have the locks there, and you even have I think Florida passing Boston in standings. That's
those guys are hot,
right?
Florida is sick right now.
They're back.
They're back.
The Cats are back. But
and I thought Matthew Tkachuk was hurt. He went down. I think he left the game after he got hit by Svechnikov in Carolina. And now he's back. He's all good.
Back.
And he's been probably the hottest player in the NHL as of late. I think he was pretty much at 2 points per game in his last 20 games. That's pretty sick.
And you got a guy like Sam Reinhart, who's having the best season of his career. He's going to be absolutely brutal to play against in the playoffs. Same with Nick Cousins.
Yeah, that's definitely a team that you do not want to run into.
And you got Bobrovsky back there too. He can steal a series.
Seriously,
or a couple.
Yeah. So which he did last year.
But that is definitely not something we would have said last year.
Nope. No, not at all.
That playoff run, I think, totally changed our team.
He has changed his career, Bobrovsky, and changed the Florida team as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk about a guy that gets hot and cold though. Holy smokes, he rides every wave there is.
Yeah.
Speaking of goaltending in Florida, what happens to Spencer Knight?
I think he's still in the player assistance program. I want to say.
Yeah, I think, but I don't even think it was for any drug abuse thing. I think it's a OCD problem.
Oh, no way.
I think it was mental health or something related to it. It was a while ago now, but that's a good question. I'm curious about that too.
Because I saw his name pop up on trade bait boards.
Really?
And it's like I haven't actually thought about Spencer Knight since. Well,
That
he had those
happened,
like
probably.
kids drawing his mask.
Yeah.
And
That
then
was-
right after that, he was out.
Yeah. No, I definitely like it's pretty scary seeing like what's been going on in the league this year, seeing all these guys like go down with these like mental health issues and stuff. But it is good like that they're getting the treatment and stuff they need, but it is definitely like not a great look.
Yeah, a little bit of a head scratcher too. Right?
Yeah.
What's
Searching
going
it
on?
up a little, there's nothing there.
He's went
No.
dark.
Yeah. It's because I feel like it's been a while, has it? Like
Yeah, it's been a long
Yeah.
time.
Like the beginning of
Like
the year.
probably since November.
Yeah, maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
And I think we all just flipped up because I think he's playing in the AHL right now.
Okay.
The Charlotte Checkers.
I
Oopsie.
can't say
They're-
I'm really following the Charlotte
Yeah.
Checkers all that tight though. So.
Yeah, he's played 34 games. So.
Oh well, at least he's doing all right.
Yeah. No. 894.
Well, as a
Save percentage.
person, not as a hockey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Brendan.
So I hope everything's good for him. That's something. Yeah, I didn't really see because he's a young guy. He also signed a pretty big contract. I want to say, too. Right? I don't know, but
I know he will one day. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, he's gonna be
He's
sick.
projected to be one of the
like
next.
the next
big
Ryan
guys,
Miller,
right?
the next Jonathan Quick kind of thing. Like he was the reason that World Junior team for a couple of years there was, as good as they were. You couldn't get anything by that guy.
He signed a 3-year, $13.5 million deal.
It's pretty good.
One way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
See ya.
that's some good cash right there.
I'll play in Charlotte. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. God forbid.
Yeah.
I mean, what? He's like 20.
Yeah.
Two,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's young. Speaking of international play, 14 years ago today, the golden goal.
Hell.
The golden goal. Said the
That was a
kid.
good day.
Yeah. You remember where you were?
I was riding the bus home from Sundry ? Not
Yeah.
that any of you guys were there, but
Just a wee little lad.
we were playing a hockey game. I was maybe in like Adam or Pee Wee or something like that, and I guess we're not allowed to say those words anymore. But yeah, well, it's all like U9 or U11
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah.
it is, right? But yeah, and the bus driver actually, I don't know what he was doing, if he was on some gas or if he was sleep deprived or what, but he could not steer that bus. Everybody thought they were dying. The coaches started like sitting up there with him. Someone ended up taking over and driving the bus home for him.
Really?
Whoa.
Yeah, so it was kind of sketch. And like at the time, I don't know, like you're 8, 9, 10 years old and whatever. I'm having fun with my buddies on the
Yeah.
bus.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, well, I don't care, right? But we kind of got off the bus and I was like, yeah, that was sketchy.
What an easy way to remember Sidney Crosby's
Yeah, and then we
goal.
got home and it was just on time for the replays.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because there was no social media like it is now, right?
Yeah.
We couldn't really follow it
Back in your day.
back in my day.
Yeah, I gotta say,
Back in our day.
I don't have any recognition of the goal at all.
Oh,
Not one.
we had like all
I
my
don't,
family
yeah.
over at our house, and
I don't remember.
like I remember sitting on the couch, like all of a sudden jumping up, like
Mhm.
Sid the Kid, like what a storybook way for that to happen.
Iggy!
Like yeah, like best player in the world solidifies it with a gold medal winning overtime
That's so
goal.
cool.
Like
Definitely showing my age.
Do
Were
we
you?
have anything else to talk about before I wrap it up? With
Where were
a
you for the golden
good
goal?
question. Oh, I have no clue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have no clue.
Sorry to call you out like that.
You're good.
I
No,
probably,
I do
like-
not remember nothing.
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
a really bad memory.
There's a good chance I probably heard it in hockey because I probably would have been in Pee Wee or something. Like I don't
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Can't remember.
I did like
Well, 10 years ago.
14 years ago.
14.
Jeez.
Yeah, I would have been.
I can't do math.
Yeah,
8. I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't even been playing hockey then. I would have
No.
just been chilling.
unproductive
now,
member of
pretty much.
society.
Are we good if I ask you guys a question to wrap it up?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So, as we know, trade deadline, I think it's 9 days away. It's 8.
The 8th. Yeah.
It might be 8 now.
2 Fridays.
So,
Yeah. 8 days.
I have a
Yep.
question. So, it doesn't matter what team you're on. If you are an unrestricted free agent, all of you, what team do you want to be traded to at the end of the deadline? And I have a couple options for you. So, for the West, Oilers, Vegas, or Avalanche, or Dallas. In the East, I have Toronto, Boston, Rangers, or Florida.
Huh.
So you get 2 choices, East or West. And like you get to pick one from the West and one for the East.
Yeah, am I playing my position? So am I a goalie?
You do whatever you want.
Here?
I'm going to New York and Vegas.
Yeah.
I think that's the same answer for me.
I'm going Florida, no
Nice.
state tax, and probably Edmonton.
Yeah.
The thing, I would sign with Florida for like long term, but if it's just for a playoff push, I'm going Vegas.
Yeah, let's say for just the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm going Vegas or New York Rangers. Kylie, where are you going?
Definitely not going Toronto.
Yeah.
They stink.
Okay, I have to pick Oilers, but like if I didn't have the chance with the Oilers, I would go Vegas, even though I don't like them. Trauma, anyways. I would go Boston.
Yeah.
Boston would be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to go to Boston too. Even though I grew up a Habs fan, so it might be.
I would strangle everybody there the way they talk.
Yeah, I love the Boston accent.
Oh, I hate it.
Everybody
Boston.
Boston.
If I couldn't go Boston though, I would go Rangers. 100%.
And you're a little closeted.
I think being a New
Rangers
York
fan.
Ranger would be so cool. Like
Yeah,
not
that too. Just like
not a Yankee, but right there, right?
Yeah, you're a big dog out there too.
Yeah, original 6 team, Madison Square Garden. Like
That's
like
why-
walking into that building in your fresh New York suit, like you never felt bigger in your entire life.
It's a great place to live too. Like I see why like some players do go to like a team like Arizona. Imagine living there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
no, exactly.
And these guys here, I mean, they're making millions upon millions of dollars, and you can do. You don't even have to be outside, right? You go from your heated garage to the heated parking lot at the rink. Like it's not like winter really affects you, but you're not going home on an off day and playing golf.
Yeah,
right?
Nope.
You're
Taking the
maybe
jet
your
skis
simulator
out.
downstairs, but being in the middle of February or January when it's freezing cold outside and it's just dumped a foot of snow.
Yeah.
These guys in Arizona are going to take 18 holes in? Come on.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want that? Same like that's
All
why
year
Florida
round.
is always so popular to go to. That and the no state tax too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vegas
Dallas.
wouldn't be bad either.
Dallas too. That's why those teams are really good.
I'd want to go.
Consistent.
Yeah, why wouldn't
Yeah.
you want to go there? Like a guy like Matt Duchene signing there, it's like, oh.
Yeah, well, I'm getting paid from Nashville. What was me? I had to go play in Nashville. That sucks, too.
That's probably.
Yeah, it's like one of the
I'd love
biggest-
to- Nashville be sick.
Like a huge country music fan, lives in Nashville.
Oh,
Did
was
you
he
see
not?
that thing? Like it must have been over the break where he scored 2 goals in Nashville.
Yes.
And then that same night you went out to the bar and started singing music or singing
Yeah.
Yeah,
songs
you
and
had a
playing
little gig
guitar.
going.
Like that's sick.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
What a lifestyle.
But yeah, get bought out and then go sign for a couple sheets in Dallas.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
is low
lighting
as
it
me.
up too, right? Like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't.
almost a point per game, I think.
That's here I got it.
Like what a value
right
contract.
here.
That's what drafting will get you, hey?
23 goals, 56 points in 59 games.
Damn.
How many
So-
points?
56.
In 59?
Yep.
Wow.
So, and that's a guy that got bought out in the offseason.
Yeah, who people thought he was done in Ottawa. People thought he was done in Nashville. People thought he wasn't going to do anything in
I don't
Dallas.
get because
Like,
he played well in Nashville too, right? Like he
Yeah.
had that great season
Well,
just 2 years ago, right?
I think he
Like,
had like
That team
He had
really went off
a
the
really
cliff.
bad season, and then he had a really good season. Then he had like not a bad season. Then he got bought out.
Yeah, it's just too much money.
that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah. 2021-22, he had 43 goals, 86 points in 78 games.
yeah, like that's
Like-
ridiculous.
Remember when it was him and Ryan O'Reilly in Colorado? And that was their big 1-2 down
Yeah.
the middle?
Yeah.
Those were good days.
Now O'Reilly's in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's
true.
been doing really well in Nashville too.
Yeah,
For
compared to last year, like
Yeah.
Ryan O'Reilly has really like found himself again.
like great chemistry with Forsberg too, right?
Yeah,
So,
Forsberg, he's been sick this season too.
like, again, Nashville's another team that could push for that playoffs.
Well, and they said they're not trading Soros as long as they're in a wild
yeah,
card
right.
spot.
Like
so
you
Lankinen
keep
might
seeing
be the guy.
like New Jersey and those teams wanting to trade for Soros. That's not gonna happen.
Does it make any sense to not trade Soros right now? Like his value is so high. He's on a 2-year contract, and then you've got, God forbid, you have to pull up the best goaltending prospect in the NHL.
Yeah.
Bring in
Yeah.
Askarov and play. Like, I really don't see why. It's not like they're gonna win the cup. They're gonna make it to the first round, maybe get swept.
I don't
like,
know.
I don't
It feels
know.
like a summer move to me almost.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's definitely a summer
Especially
move.
if you're contending.
Right now, you're fighting for a spot,
But
and,
you
and
make
it's
strong
open.
points here. Like
I do think that like if it's not this deadline, it's got to be in the summer or next deadline.
We don't know Askarov either, right? Like he's a young kid.
But
like he's
Lankinen can come in and play some games, win some games.
He's not gonna be a Saros, but
he's not Saros, but Nashville's a fringe playoff team. Like
I think Askarov's won 14 straight games in the AHL.
In the AHL. Oh, he's lighting it. He's one of the best goaltenders in the AHL right now. But it's a big move from the AHL to NHL.
Yeah,
and extremely for a player
guy.
that young. You think like Wolf in Calgary as well too, right? So I don't think he's ready for the NHL call up as well.
Who do you guys think is better in 5 years, Calgary or Nashville?
Calgary or
I don't know Nashville's prospect pool super well, but
if you got like Evangelista and
I said Calgary pretty quick, but I
don't know. Nashville doesn't have any like crazy terrible contracts. Do they?
not.
Yeah, that's what's hitting me
Really?
because Huberdeau,
Yeah, true, I
Kadri are
guess.
going to be
Like
there.
those aren't going to age
Yeah.
well
No, not at all.
No.
Forsberg's probably
unless they
gonna
start
be
building more Lego. Those weirdos.
That's a crazy quote.
Well, I think it's time to wrap it up, though. I'm getting sad. So
Time for class.
yeah. Any last thoughts though? Like real quick.
If
Actually, yeah. You want to say your Broncos thing?
yeah, does anybody else have anything
I'll
major?
go Broncos.
Yeah, we've got
Broncos country.
Broncos up 1-0 in the best 3 series. Go tonight in Gibbons at 7:30, and then
Big
tomorrow,
playoff game.
if needed, hopefully not, in Terwilliger at 8:00. So, if anybody's free, mom and dad, you know.
Go out the Gibbons.
Exactly.
Oh well, I think that's gonna be it. I'm gonna say one more thing. Yara Slavkovsky. I just have to say that real quick. Love the guy. He's light enough. Next Quentin Byfield, I'm gonna say. Very similar play. But that's it for the podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
Good point, dude. Way to end it.
That has been another episode of Around the Rinks, your go-to hockey podcast. We'll see you next time.